Hello again, and I'm here today for the continuation of, well, what we're going to do with the two trifolds that we've already made. These ones here. They're looking lovely. I really like them. We've used the York Creative Studio, the box that had all the birds in. Like I said at the end of the last video, there's still loads of stuff in that box that I haven't even touched upon. But we're using what we need as we need it. So that's our two trifolds, and I've shown you how to make those. This was the first one we made. This was the second one. Shown you how to make those in detail. So hopefully you're all set up and ready to go with that. You can use a completely different topic, completely different colours, and you'll come up with something that looks really different, but should, because the bones are the bones, it should still work rather nicely for you. So let's set those to one side and I'll show you what I've been up to. I have made a notebook, a little journal, and I've put one of the birdie pages on it from our lovely birdie book. That's just gorgeous. And a little word that says gratitude, because I am grateful. I'm grateful for so many things. I'll tell you what the cover measures. Would be a good place to start, wouldn't it? It measures a tick under 8. So 7 7/8 is what it measures, by just marginally over 5.5, 5.5 I'd say. So that's 7 7/8 by 5.5. And then I know it's customary with junk journals to use pages such as coffee stained maps, pictures, whatever. But I have just used ordinary copier paper. It's cream, and I think I've got 20 pages in here. So there's loads. And it measures just a little bit less. 7, let's take one out and measure one. Let's take the outside one and then you'll know. It measures 7, just 7.5. Yeah, 7.5 by just a tick under 5.5. Okay, so that's going to be our little notebook. I can't sew it together yet because something else is going to happen to it. But in the meantime, we could decorate that. So I think that's what we'll do today. We'll decorate this. So let's see what we've got to decorate it with. Let's get everything out. We've got these little birdie stickers. They're quite nice. We've got the birdie stamps. Also quite nice. We've got these faux postage stamps. That, no, possibly not. And that, no. This I'm going to keep intact as a pack. I don't know why. I just am. And the decoupage paper, no, not for the notebook. So we'll leave those in there. It's amazing, isn't it, how much stuff there is. And let's have a look at the stamps, the rubber stamps, and see what we got. I can't get into them. There we go. I'll say these are nicely packaged this time. They used to come in envelopes, but this is in a really nice plastic, which I'm sure you could use for something. It's a really nice quality. So what have we got? Where does it tell us? Here it tells us. Look what we've got. We've got that big bird, a smaller bird, that bird there, some leaves and berries. Yeah. That's plenty. That's plenty. Now, I don't ordinarily stamp in distress ink. I prefer VersaFine or, one of the This one, if I'm using brown VersaFine Vintage Sepia, I find you get a much better stamp with it. But I think it will also come straight through that paper. So I've got a spare piece of paper here, and I shall do a little experiment. Let's take the leaves, and I've got 2 stamp blocks here that are both filthy. Will that fit on there? No, not really. Let's stick it on there then. And I'll use the Distress first because it wipes off more readily. Stamp that and see what happens. Okay, it's quite pale. That's kind of what I'd expect with Distress ink, but it's nice and it hasn't come through. So let's try it with the VersaFine. Good stamps straight out the pack though, aren't they? I mean, you know, I haven't done anything to... Yeah, I mean, that's much darker. It's a darker ink. But yeah, it's just coming through. I could perhaps get away with that if I didn't press quite so hard. But those are our 2. And to be honest, I think I like the Vintage Photo better. It's there, but it's not in your face too much. So let's go with the Vintage Photo. Let's just wipe that, any VersaFine that's left on there, off. Put the VersaFine away to one side. And let's go through our little notebook and mix and put some stamps. Hither and thither. So, well, I might as well start with this one to be honest with you. I don't know if it's got a right and a wrong way, you know, upside down or whatever. Looks pretty similar to me. Yeah, that's nice. That is nice. And seeing as I've got it all on the block and everything, I'm just gonna... I don't know how much juice there is left in this Vintage Photo, to be honest. I'm just going to stamp that up there, because that'll be the back page of our notebook. So you never see the, you know, the front page and the back page together. Yeah, that's lovely. Perfect. Okay, so let's pop that back where it belongs. Oh, that way. That way. Nearly. That way. Right. So let's take, not the next page, but the page after. I'm going to get in the right jumble here. Shall we put a birdie sticker on? Let's do that. Let's put the lid on my ink. I've already established it's not the world's best. So, let's see if I can get these off. Oh, they're rub-offs. No, I think they're stickers. Yeah, they're stickers. There we are. I'm just going to pop it down here. Like that. That's lovely. This birdie, it's in keeping with our birdie theme. There we are. And I'm also going to put one on the back here as well. Just up there. Lovely. So that goes there, and I'm going to miss the next page out and go for the one after that. And I think I'll go with one of these stamps. We haven't even had these open, have we? No idea what's in them, to be honest. But let's get them out and have a look, shall we? Butterflies. Oh, I think they might all be butterflies. Oh, that's a pretty one. I like that one. And that one. Well, I like them all. Like that one too. Might put that on the back. Oh, they're all butterflies. They're beautiful. That's really nice. Oh, I don't know how many you get. You get a lot. You get a lot. Oh, look at that one. That's gorgeous. Anyway, right. Let's stick this one here. I don't know about getting them off the back end. There might be a bit of a curse to get off. But no, they come straight off. Wow, that's excellent. So I'm just going to stick that at a bit of a jaunty angle like that. There we are, burnish it down. Excellent. And this one I'm going to put down at the bottom. Oh, you get so many nice things to play with in these boxes. These butterflies are gorgeous. So I'm just going to pop that there. Burnish. Put that in my pile. Leave the next one. And then take the next one out to decorate. And I think I'm going to put this big bird stamp. He's lovely. Let's put those away. Let's hope that he's inked enough. I might put him at the top actually. Just there. Oh, look at him, he's gorgeous. He really is gorgeous. And I'm going to put him, I don't know where to put him. He's the star of the show, isn't he? He's just the star of the show. I love him. Let's pop him down here. So, I mean, you could put, you know, a stamp and a stamp. One of these stamps and one of these stamps. Yeah, that's perfect. Perfect. On a page, you could put something on every page. Just whatever takes your fancy, really. Let's just pop him back where he belongs. Just there. And I think I might just put another postage stamp on this. This is our last page. I like that one. I like that one. Oh, I like them all. I like them all. I like that one a lot. Right, let's use those two. So, just take the backing off that. There we go. I'll put that down at the bottom this time, I think. Which way does it go? Like that, I think. I think so. There we go, and something for the back, which I think this, oh, that's lovely. They're all lovely. The whole box is lovely. It's the best box ever, I think. Just pop that up there, like that. Great. Right. So that is our little journal, complete with little decorations. Enough decorations, I think. Just on sort of on every other page. You could go through it and add more if you wanted to, but I think that's plenty. And where's the cover? Here's the cover. So that will come in later. So as it stands now, we've got our 2 trifolds and our little journal. All decorated, all ready to go. Lovely. Let's put these postage stamps back in here. Actually, I mean, the card that you get, that's just beautiful. Don't throw your packaging away, it's just too good. Right, that's those in there. I'm going to put those back in the box so I know where they are. Put my dirty stamp blocks away. They can go back in the box, and this can probably go back in the box as well, actually. Just try and keep some space clear to work in. I know, it's not like me. Right, okay, now you're going to see the master plan. Here we have some grey card. Now this could equally well be 2 sort of cereal boxes that you've stuck together. It could be more. The good thing to use is, and you've got other kids or the grandkids have got a sketchbook and it's got a solid back to it. When they've finished their sketchbook or their writing pad or whatever it is, ask them if you can have the back cover, because it makes brilliant greyboard. So I have cut 3 pieces. Well, I didn't actually cut it, Mr. F did. And they are 4 inches wide by 6 inches long, high, whatever you want to say. And this is 6 inches by 1 inch. Okay, so there's 6 by 4. 2 big pieces are 6 by 4, and this piece is 6 by 1. All right. So we're going to use the same blue that we've used throughout, except not on card. This time it's on paper, and it's quite thin paper. Well, it's 120 GSM, which is sort of posh copier weight, if you like. So that's going to go, I've only printed on one side because you only need to print on one side for this. So it's going to go print side down, white side up. And then we're going to glue these to here. Right, so let's get going. I'm using my collal for this. It's just a bit runnier and it stays a bit longer than the Queen glue. The Queen glue dries so quickly. Now if you've got a little spreader, this is a good time to use it. I don't have one. Well, I do somewhere, but I don't have it to hand. So what I'm just going to do is take my hand and just spread that out. Like so. It is a horrible job, and your hand gets all sticky. Of course it does. But, whoops, let's spread that out. Right, so let's place that down at least an inch in, I would say about an inch in from the edge all around. It doesn't have to be exactly equal. I just can't wait to wipe this off, I'm afraid. Sorry, just got to do it. It's got to be done. And just take something to press down over it. I'm using my ink pad. If you've got a brayer to hand, that would be perfect. But the ink pad's doing the job. So there we are. That's that. Stuck down and pressed down. Whoops, a daisy. And then the next thing to do is to stick this down. Now, in order to let the book have enough room to bend around, my collarb's decided to explode, you need to leave a gap here. And theoretically, you should leave the gap that is the same as your card. So in our case, that would be that, and that's probably fine. That's probably about bang on. So let's aim for that. Which is all right when you're doing this piece because you've got that spare to measure with, but so I know most of you know how to do this, but we always have newcomers to our channel and to our Facebook group, and so if you know how to do this, I'll catch you in the next video. And if you're a newcomer, I hope you'll find this helpful and not as intimidating as you think it might be, because it's just not that, it's not awful at all. So let's put that there, leave a little gap, equal all the way up. That's fine, that's good there. And you just want to make sure that it's straight at the bottom. So hold that and just make sure it's straight. Yeah, that's lovely. Perfect, perfect, perfect. I'm just gonna, oh, it's moving just a little bit. There we go. Lovely. And then we've just got this one piece left to do. Just keep checking that until it dries, because I've just caught it again and I moved it again. That's fine. That's great. It moves. That's the beauty of collal. It allows you time to move around. You can do this with double-sided if you want to. Nothing at all stopping you doing it with double-sided tape. I sometimes do that actually. Then you don't have a waiting time for it to dry, you know, which is good. Right, let's smush this out again. My least favourite part of proceedings. That's why double-sided is great. You don't have to do this bit. There we go. That's lovely. Right, so we're going to pop that down, leaving a very similar gap to the one we left on the other side, like so. Get yourself like your Timmy ruler or something, and just press that up there. Make sure that you've got that square. Yeah, that's good and square. And just give it a second just to tack up. Especially with collal and probably Fabri-Tac as well. I don't know, it's so long since I used Fabri-Tac, but I think it just needs a second just to tack up a little bit, and then we can press it down without it flying all around the paper. So there you go. I mean, there's nothing complicated in that. It's just sticking 3 things down to a piece of paper. So I think we're probably all right with that. I'm just going to use my ink pad. Get it stuck down firmly. I haven't got an up and a down on my paper. You know, it's the same always up, so it doesn't matter, you know, which way. If yours does matter, you know, just make a mental note, because later on that will be important. Right, I think we're okay there. So the next thing to do is take your scissors. Actually, I'm just going to give that a couple of minutes to dry, because if I start picking it up and it starts moving, we'll be in Queer Street, as they say. So I'll just give that a couple of minutes and I'll see you back when it's a bit drier. And I've had my lunch. Okay, I'm back again. I didn't leave it very long at all, because I decided that I'd get the next bit done and then leave it to dry whilst I'm having lunch. That's what I thought. Right, so now you are cutting into this. And if you're really not sure about things, take a ruler. The Tim Holtz one is fine because it's quite a nice thickness. Put it on the corner like that and draw a line. Okay, so you'll see that we're not touching this grey board. We've left them, well, the thickness of this, whatever that is, 1/8 of an inch maybe. And we'll do that with all the corners. So you hold that up there onto the corner and then draw your line. And that'll give you a good estimate of where to start from. There we are. So that's not complicated. And now I'm just going to take my scissors and cut along those lines. Now it doesn't matter here whether you're nearer, further away or whatever. It does matter when you get to that point. So actually I'm going to come in a bit shallower. Just to that point there. And then out again. I'm going to do that on all four. Just to that point there. And then out again. You can follow the line if you want to. Just make sure that that line at where the corner is, that you leave it to that mark that you've just drawn in. There we go. So I've cut my corners off. So now I'm going to put some, I can't bear any more glue on my fingers, so I'm going to use my double-sided. If I can find the end, yes I can. I'm going to do the two short sides first. So right up to the edge is one of them. And try and do this with my right hand if I can. And then, I don't know, 1/2 inch away, something like that. And then all this is going to be folded in, so you want to tape it down like so. Just burnish that while I'm here. Do the other one. This one's not quite so wide actually. There we go. So let's put our shorter ends in. Just going to get my blade just to help me release the release tape. Otherwise we may be here some time. So that's that end. Right, so what I want to do now is just begin to push that in. Push it in from the centre out towards the edges like that. That's lovely. And then just push it over. Just like that. So you're pushing it over, you're not pulling anything, you're just pushing it over firmly, but not pulling it, otherwise you'll buckle the book. So we've gone from making trifolds to making a journal. So once again, just from the centre, just ease that along like that, and then just fold it over like so. And the double-sided holds it straight away in place. You're not having to wait for glue to dry or anything. So there we have that. And then it's time to move on to the bottom. Now then, you will see with the bit that we left that we can actually go in with our bone folder or your nail or whatever and just mark along there, right at the bottom of the pages. Just there, like that. So all you need to do is push it up like so. Then we'll put our double-sided on there. Just in a touch from the corner, all the way along the bottom, and touch from that corner. There we go. And another one about there. Burnish those down. Take the release tape off. Same again, just start pushing it in from the centre all the way along and then just fold it in. Like so. And you get a really nice corner. There's no grey board showing, it's just nice, clean and tidy. That one's the same. So there we go. So it's just the other one now to do, and then we've done, well, what could be conceived as a tricky bit. A tricky dicky bit. But it's not. I mean, you've watched me do it. It's really not tricky. I don't think it's tricky. You have to do it systematically. But that's okay. You can do systematically. I'm just putting my tape here just because this is a bit wider, this part here. You could trim it off if you wanted to. But it doesn't really make any difference at all, so I'm just working with what I've got. That's all I can do. Work with what you've got. Poor Mr. F, eh? He's got to work with what he's got. And he's got me. There we go, that's all the release tape off. I'm just going to do what we've done all along, just fold it, begin to press it over from the centre, like so. I forgot to put those in. So press those down like we did on the other long side, like that. And then just fold it over. Oh, I've got a bit of a runkle there, never mind, I'll live with it. There we go. So that is our cover done. The outside, our outer cover done. The inner cover is just easier. Nice corners, very tidy, no bits coming through, nothing. It's really tidy. Now at this stage I would advise that you don't try and bend it, because that glue on the outside, I don't know quite how I got that runkle there, but it's there anyway, be alright. The outside will still be wet, so just leave it just now. And then we're going to put the bit on the inside. So another single-sided piece of paper, and I want to take this quite tight up to the corners. So I'm just going to mark that there. let's see how wide I want it. To there. I think that'd be fine. It might be just a bit tight, but we'll see. We'll see what we shall see. Let's cut that off first. So where I use double-sided to stick the inside down, you could equally have used wet glue. It's just that it double-sided sticks instantly, so you fold it over and forget about it. Whereas glue, you've kind of got to either clip or hold or whatever, all of which is a pest. Let's trim this off to our mark, and that's just less than the 6 inches. Hello, Catkin. So there we are, that should be about right. That looks perfect to me. So let's get rid of the pencil marks. Stick it down. Then it'll be time for lunch. Hooray! So I could ink around that, and in actual fact I think I will, because there's quite a lot of ink in the journal. So just quickly give it a dusting. I hope you all feel equipped to deal with that. Once you've done that once, you're a journal maker. There we go. So you can see where that's going to stick onto. Just there, leaving the smallest snidge left. And I think I'll just, whilst I've got the ink out, I'll go around the front outside. I haven't quite decided what's going on the front yet. I mean, it's going to be something birdy, obviously. But I haven't quite got that far as thinking what it is going to be. Generally, I tend not to put anything or very little on my back cover, because it's the bit that gets scuffed along the table or whatever, and I think it's just asking for trouble if you put things on it. So I'll probably leave it blank, because that blue card's nice anyway. There we are. Right, and this I am going to stick on with wet glue. Once again though, you could stick it on with double-sided. And once I've got this done, I definitely am going for my lunch, which Mr. F is kindly preparing. Pork chops today. Pork chops, carrot and peas, parsnip. Ooh, I'm starving, it sounds so nice. There we are. Let's just check we haven't got any great blobs of it anywhere. Okay, let's get this down then if we can. Lovely. That is really nice. A nice job, Bob. Nice job, Bob. We often say that here. I don't know why we say it, but we do. That's fine. I'm pretty sure that's quite well attached. And I'm just going to leave that for the duration of my lunch. So I'll see you back when my tummy's not so empty. Bye. Right, I am fed and watered, and this, I believe, is now, or should be anyway, dry. So, there we are. We've managed to cover some cardboard with some paper. Aren't we clever? Right, I just want a, one of these things, bone folder. I just want to feel, if I can, where those fold lines are. Yeah, that's a good question. Where are they? Blimey. Oh, there we are. So I'm just going to go down there with this bone fold and just press into that space that we left in between the grey boards. And on the other side as well, if I can find it. Oh, let's try this one first. There we go. There we go. So let's just put the lines in there, indentations anyway. And that looks like that's going to be all right. Okay, so I'm just going to gently, where's my ruler? My ruler would be a better bet. Put the ruler down there and just pull this up like that. Just slowly and gently. Like so. That's marvellous. And now let's do the same on the other side. So just from the bottom along there. Lovely. And there we have it. There we have it. Aren't we clever? We made a journal. Wow, that's great. I'm just going to press this one up a little bit further because I don't really want to put any closure of any sort on this if I can help it, and I shouldn't have to, but do need these sort of pointing inwards rather than outwards. So yes, there we have it. Look at that. Nice, isn't it? Lovely, in fact. Right, so what am I going to do? The paper's just split there. It's just cracked there. The way round, I mean, it's not a disaster in this case because I'm going to cover it anyway with something. But if you just gently spritz your paper before you fold it up, you won't get that marking. Or the other way to do it, when it's lying flat like that, put your creases in like that, and that'll save that cracking. Just works the paper before you bend it over. So that's the way to stop that happening. But I didn't do that, and so mine cracked. But as I say, it's not the end of the world because I'm going to cover my spine with this quite fine hessian, like so, and nobody will ever know. Now, when it comes to the notebook part of things, which is here, this is going to be sewn onto the spine. This has now become the spine. Excuse me. And so, what was I going to say there? I don't know. I've completely forgotten what I was going to say there. So, yes, I remember. So, you can either sew it now when there's nothing on the spine, so your threads will be there, and then you can put this over the top, which sort of hides the threads, which is quite a nice look really. So I think I'll go with that. I think that's what I fancy doing. So I need to make some holes. Now, I want them to be in the middle of this. I don't want them to be down at this end or up here. I want them in the middle. So get your well-used ruler, and that's an inch. Yeah, it's still exactly an inch. So I just need to draw a line at 1/2 inch. I'm going to have to do it this way because I can't see. So just make some marks at 1/2 inch up your spine. Join those together, and that'll give us the line that we want to attach our journal onto. There we are. Now, I'd like them fairly central, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get the pokey tool to go through the spine and through the notebook at the same time. So I'm making sure that my pages are level and straight and both in from the edge the same amount, and I'm going to clip that there, and I'm going to clip it at this side as well, so the papers won't really move at all within the notebook cover. I am going to get my pokey tool, hold it sort of where I want it, equidistant top and bottom, like that, and then I'm going to poke out through the centre, or the centre-ish. You can measure it if you wish. So that's coming out there, which is there. So I'm just going to make a hole down into the spine there, and then up, I don't know, 3/4 inch or so, something like that. Coming out there. So that's right there. And then one at the top. About the same distance in as the bottom one. And that's coming out there, which is right there. Okay, so now we can make these holes a bit bigger so we can get a needle through them. So I'm using my kind of fatter pokey tool. You can use your, if you've got a big bite crocodile, you can use that as well. Use it on the smallest hole setting. It'll be fine. It's probably easier actually. Right, so let's rub out that line, because once we've got the notebook in place, it'll be difficult to do that. But we know that they're in line with the holes in the notebook, and they're in line in the middle of the spine, so we're doing okay. Right, let's get the sewing stuff out. So I just use a fairly big-eyed needle, and it's quite long. It probably doesn't have to be as long as this, but sometimes if you're sewing in quite thick signatures, you're glad to have a long needle. Right, so I'm going in through the middle, and the middle, oh, I could have done with making these holes a bit bigger as well actually. They're a bit on the tight side. No need to make life any more complicated than it has to be, is there? Oh, that paper's resistant. That's because I've got so many sheets of it in. There we go. Right, so in through the middle of everything, and then down to the bottom, in through that hole, and the spine through the hole in the notebook, which brings us out in the centre again, out through the top hole, and this top hole here, and then onto our end, and then in the middle again, and through the hole in the notebook. Just now decided it doesn't want to play, that's it. There we go, so that's the actual stitchery part done of that. We need one end each side of this long central stitch, so I'll just pop that under there. Yeah, that's right, and just take the needle away so I don't prod myself with it too much. And now we just need to tighten this up, really, get it where we want it. So let's just pull that tighter, pull that tighter, pull the whole thing tighter and see where we're at. What you want is, you want to be able to sort of ping these like guitar strings. Pluck them, yes indeed, let's pluck them. So they're quite tight now, so I'm just pulling that nice and tight and tying two knots in it is sufficient, I think. Cut the ends off there, take your clips off, and there we have our little notebook. Don't know, yeah, that's the right side, in our journal. Fabulous. So sometimes it's a good idea just to go through it and randomly fold down some pages, and from the other side too. There we go. That's lovely. That probably needs a little bit of glue there, I think. Oh, might be all right. Okay, so now what we have to do with regards to the cover is to stick this on. So I've made mine 2.5 inches wide, and I've made it a good lot longer than the spine, as you can see, and then I can trim it off to suit when I've finished. So I want to just take out some of the, it's a very loose weave, this, very, and I just want to take out some threads at the side, about 4, something like that. It's not an exact sort of thing, so as it looks like that. And I like that look. That's kind of the look I'm going for. So I might take another 1 out. There we go. And I just want to stick that on, really. So let's use Collall. I'm just going to stick the actual spine of it at the moment. So you want plenty glue, but you don't want plenty plus. You just want plenty. You could use lace for this. You could use any bit of fabric at all that you like. But it does strengthen the spine. It gets over any problems you might have had, such as I had with the paper cracking, which isn't an unusual thing to happen. So that's on there now. There's not loads on it, because that just is a nightmare. So stretch that out and try and see if you've got it square. I think that needs to come. It's such a loose weave, this, that I can almost see where the lines are and get it square that way. So I think that's okay there. And here I've got rather a lot here. Is that the back? No, it's the front. I don't know if that's too much when I fold. Oh no, I quite like that when I fold it over. Yeah, okay. So, because we didn't put much glue on and we went over with our finger before we stuck the hessian on, there's no unsightly glue come through the fabric, which I absolutely hate. I hate to see that. So that's that on there. So now let's just stick the back and the front down. And it's the same thing, a little bit of glue. That's probably too much. And we're just going to spread it out with our finger, pick up any excess, wipe it on your towel. Got quite a lot there. And sometimes you get a line just along the corner sort of thing. So make sure that's not happening to you. And then just fold that over. And it's wet glue, so it will take a second or two to hold. Fold it over like that. Just give it a second or two to catch, and in the meantime we can be doing the front. So try and stay away from the actual corner where the fabric joins. A bit of glue like that, spread it out. Lovely, and then just fold that over. Leave that there. Let's just check this is glued down. Yes, that's lovely. I just need another little bit there. Seems to have avoided the glue. Let's go put a clip. My fingers are so gluey. Just going to put a clip on there just to remind it to stick. Let's have a look at the front. Oh yeah, that looks really nice. So I haven't put any glue where this sort of feather edging is, if you like, because I may wish to slide something under there, and I quite like it when that comes over it. So it's still too long, but we'll leave it like that. Can trim it any old time we like. So that, I'm going to leave that there for today, because I think we've done a lot. I'm not sure if that was just out of focus or if it was my eyes. I just looked up and it looked a bit out of focus. So there we have it. We've got our cover made. We've added our notebook. We've got the spine cover on. We're doing ever so well. So join me again for the next and what I think will be the final edition of our Let's Make a Sneaky Journal Out of Trifolds. Thanks for joining me. Bye for now. Bye.